Hey, everybody, and welcome in to another episode of Vox and Jed Fight About It, the only show on the internet where we have a themed set of episodes for episodes 40 through 50 of hyper-specific personal themes relating to things going on in our lives and also reasonable, like, world events happening in early 2025. No one has ever done that before. That specific thing, we're doing it. You were breaking new ground.
That was an incredibly long-winded way to say that we're having themed episodes.
Yeah, well, I gotta tell them somehow, right? But yeah, the last two have been themed, and to make a long story short, the next few are gonna be themed up to 50. That's the big plan. That's the big secret we've totally been keeping. We totally didn't like fluke our way into this at all. And we definitely didn't just do a couple themed episodes and realize, oh shit, that's actually kind of a good idea. No.
Yeah.
That's totally not what happened.
No, definitely not. Definitely
no. But today's theme, we've got several fun themes lined up. Last time was video games, and before that we were talking about movies, or was it the other way around? I don't know. And those are both really fun. Those are like fun, like low stress activities. And they're very leisure too. So I'm sure the rest of the topics are just the same way. What's today's topic, Jed?
Moving.
Oh boy.
Pretty much just a life update for us.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big life updates and personal anecdotes episode.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow, dude, I just got sniped by a piece of dust in the air. Like, it just, like...
Did you?
Like, it came in on, like, a breath in and, like, stuck right into that one spot on the back of your throat where you can always feel it. What a dickhead.
I hate that.
Oh, man. But... either way, moving is our theme for this episode because we are both moving, me only like an hour away, Jed across the country, to the same place. And we're gonna be staying
nervous
there.
about that.
And it's gonna be great. I'm just nervous about this whole thing, man. I'm just it's a stressful time for me. All right, I'm a very stressed out boy. I never moved a lot when I was a kid. I was born in one house, and I was born at a hospital, but like, you know, of course, like my memory begins in one home and stays there up until like from like 0 to 15, basically. Well, I lived with my grandma for a bit, but that was exclusively like, I kind of like was like a it takes a village situation where a little bit of my shit was at like 3 different adults' houses, and so like, when I quote-unquote moved, it was really only just, I'm gonna go stay with grandma for like 6 weeks, you know? But like, without really moving any of my possessions or anything, because there's enough shit over there for 6 weeks, you know? But either way, I digress. Like, the actual like quote-unquote moving process where this is not a house we live in anymore. We need to pack all of our belongings and go to that house. That whole process is almost brand spanking new to me, because I have never, like, I've only packed to move one time, and it was only my stuff from my room when I was a teenager to like a different house. And, you know, like that's the one time I've ever moved, and I got pretty much like, it was a very easy process in that, like, I knew what day we were leaving, and I knew what day I had to have all my shit packed by, and I only owned a bedroom worth of shit. You know, and so it was like a pretty easy, give me like a box or 2 and I'll move, you know? And so like that was pretty doable. That was pretty doable for me. But this is the first time like I'm going to be fully like out on my own with moving, and like I've got to manage like all of it, and I don't have a move-in date yet. We're only a week out. It's a very like, I don't want to get into like too many specifics. It's a very like roundabout thing. It's like a personal family agreement we have going on about just like, hey, I'm getting a new place. You guys want my perfectly good, definitely not run down at all old place. I need to like specify. That makes it sound like it's gonna be a shitty place, but no, it's actually really nice. I've been there, and then we're just like, yeah, you know, for you guys, you can just have it. Like, I mean, if you pay the upkeep on it, like, you know, we own it, so you only really need to pay property tax, and then, like, if you can upkeep the bills and the property tax, you can just have it and do what you please with it. And so, like, it's practically ours. It's just a matter of, like, construction delays on their new place. So we're waiting on the old tenants to be ready to move before we can move. And so it's a lot of very wishy-washy, maybe this week, maybe next week stuff. Which means we've been like Groundhog Day'd this week, basically. I need to say, this is an important thing I want to talk about. This, I feel like, is something to talk about. But, man, we've been fucking Groundhog Day'd. Because last week, we were like, man, the construction is done on the new place. We can move in soon. We'll be able to move into where we're moving in pretty quick. Like within a week of that. And because Jed's got a big drive, he has to have a date penciled in on his calendar. And that date up to this week was next Monday, like the following Monday after this episode comes out.
Yeah, it would be the day after this episode comes out, yeah.
But now it's a week later. Now it's being pushed a week later. So all last week, up until Thursday evening last week, we were both under the impression that we were moving next week. And then on Thursday evening, we found out, hey, there's been like a really weird little delay. But we'll definitely have it done next week. Like, we'll have it done in the middle of this week, even. It's just a matter of Jed needs a clean date to move on. It's so, like, because again, that's a big coordinated thing, that drive. And so he's just pushing it out a week and doing it that way.
Yeah. I also don't want to drive on, like, the weekend, so.
No, yeah, this whole thing has just been, like, pushed like around a little bit and shuffled in such a way that we spent last week believing it would be our last week where we were at, and then we've spent this week, and then like this week rolled around and it was like still 1 week until the move. You know, and so it was like it's like no time has moved in the past 7 days for some reason, and it's put us in a weird, or at least for me, it's put me in a very weird like quasi state. You know, where it's like I don't want to. I don't want to like do anything meaningful. Like I kind of just want to sit here and count down the time, really, until it's done. Just because this move is like all I can fucking think about while I work on stuff. Because I'm thinking about what I have to pack. I'm thinking about what I have to clean. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna have to move, what I'm gonna have to throw away, what I'm gonna have to give away, who I can give it away to, etc., etc. Just all of that shit is always running constantly on like a hamster wheel in my head, which is great. Because it means I'm thinking about it and I'm considering it and I'm getting it done. Not so great when, like, I thought I was only going to have to be in this I am a man who is moving houses and that is my one goal in the whole world state for like a week. Yeah. I didn't know I'd be here for 2.5, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been busting my ass, though, because, like, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be, like, cleaned up and prepared here before I leave. So it's been a lot of, like, fuck it, I'm gonna hang up like a deadbolt on this door, and then the next day I'm gonna be doing like fucking 30 truck runs to the dump, you know, things like that.
I somehow wish I was with you on that, just because like I can't manage to keep busy right now. I don't have a ton to do. Like, I have plenty to do that I could fill all of that time. It's just, like, the order I do it in matters, and its proximity to the move matters, which means, like, for instance, it'll be a lot easier to clean the bedroom and, like, deep clean it, so we leave it, like, better than how we found it, you know? Which I guess we already kind of are, because I fucking, like, renovated this place, but whatever. So I think it would be a lot easier to get that done, personally. This is just me, in my opinion. I think that'd be a lot easier to get done without any of the furniture or anything in it. So I want to wait until we actually move and then take a day after we've already moved all our shit out and come like sweep and mop and like wipe everything down, you know? Like I think that's the game plan, is to do that. And conversely do the same with the new place, where before we move any of our shit in, just do a quick sweep, mop, deep clean, done, you know? Like over the course of like a day. And so that's the game plan there, but it's like, again, I can't do that until right up against the move. You know, I don't want to clean now, because if I clean now, it's going to be a way harder process and a lot more shit to clean that I don't know what'll need cleaning and what won't need cleaning before the move. I want to give everything that's going into the new place a wipe down, and I want to give everything that's staying here a wipe down, but there's that nebulous third thing of what the hell am I throwing away? And like how weird it would feel to like, this desk, pretty cheap. It's like $60 and it's like falling the fuck apart. And so I don't want to fix it. I'm just going to buy myself a nice desk and like assemble it in my office. That's what I'm going to do. So the desk is going. It would be really weird to clean the rest of this room and not my desk, which is like the most cluttered mess of shit ever. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it would make the process just really awkward and weird to do. There's an order to it, yeah. So all I can do right now is pack things. But we've pretty much, in one like box, we have pretty much everything we own that we don't actively use. I'd argue we have about 3/4 of all that stuff. So there's about 1/4 of it left to pack. And some of it's already kind of in boxes. And now we're having to play the game of, is this box of like trinkets big enough to be carried on its own, or should it go in a larger box with everything else? That way we have to make less trips. You know, like I have the box my Steam Deck came in. That's a pretty good sized box, but I feel like that's a little enough box that fucking shove it into into like a crate of other shit and then like carry it in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make a special trip for like that and 4 or 5 other things, you know. But I also have my like Steam or like Valve Index box. And that is a much larger box that I probably would not mind making a special trip for, because it's so fucking like honking big that my options are either make a special trip for it or like spend half of a storage tub on it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
there's not really a good choice there.
I don't know. I find moving in general very stressful. I find the idea of all of it insanely stressful, dude. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind it too much. Currently, I'm in like the cleaning pre-phase, and then I'll start packing my shit. Because like mine is reversed from where yours is, where it's like I've got stuff that needs sorted here, and this is stuff that needs sorted before I can load up my truck and get moving. So like I'm in the reverse order. And it has been a lot of fucking work every day, like waking up at 11 a.m., you know, getting some work done and ensuring that, and then having to come back around for like podcasting and stuff. And, yeah, it has been a really hectic time for me.
Yeah.
Especially with date movement. Like I was pretty sure I would be able to move this upcoming Monday. However, this extra week is very nice. I won't lie.
It is good to have the padding. I'm really bummed to move the move back a week, because that means this whole thing won't be done for another week. And I've spent like the last 10 give or take minutes of the podcast complaining about moving it back a week. But really, I am overall happy. I think that will work out best. I'll like in between that, like that time will allow me to get paid before we do this, so that I'll have more money to like pad out the move a little better. It'll allow you more time to get all your shit done, because you have a lot more to do. Like you have a lot more that needs doing, because you have to like, you know, you have to do for you, and like you have like you live in a pretty big house, and so the space you occupy is just larger than the space I occupy, and so it's like you have a lot more. Like there's work to be done in the garage, there's work to be done in the bedroom, there's work to be done in like the guest room, there's work to be done in the bathroom, you know, where for me it's just bedroom, living room, bathroom, basically, and then like a little kitchen.
Yeah.
That's all I have to clean. So it's that's all I have to clean, that's all I have to pack up. So it's pretty simple for me. Like I could probably get this shit done tomorrow if I could leave tomorrow if I were given the green flag. I have enough of my shit packed where I could get the rest of it done conceivably tomorrow, and then like move the boxes in and like be able to work it that way. And I think that's the way I want to do it. Personally, I want to take my time with it. Of course, I want to do that deep clean day, but after that, other than take an additional day to just clean the place and then move, like maybe I'll do that while I'm moving shit in, maybe, I don't know, but like it might be easier to make those one singular day. I think I could multitask that, but the thing about it is it just stresses me the fuck out, all of it every time. It's just so stressful. Yeah. It's so easy, but it's so stressful. Like, see what I mean? I just got down like on the weeds there of just like a rabbit hole of like logistics nested inside of other logistics shit. And so it's like it's a big complex moving thing. And like, you know, putting lipstick on a pig is difficult. It's less difficult when the fucking pig won't sit still, you know? It feels like everything in the world is like navigating around us to make this not happen.
Yeah. No, it's a huge fucking pain in the ass. Do you wanna like front to back talk about the moving story in this episode? Or like just what's going on recently?
Like, you mean over the like last couple of years even? No, I don't wanna get into that
the
much
fact
detail.
that this started in 2020. Okay.
Yeah,
but yeah,
construction projects take a while is the TLDR of that. Like, especially when you're doing it like homestead style, where you're just like hiring out people at random. Anyway. Do you have anything you want to talk about moving? Because I got plenty of topics. I got enough shit to fund like 3 podcast episodes about moving, dude. Believe me. So what do you got?
Then give us a topic. I don't have much.
All right, fine. But like, I didn't expect the move to be stressful. That's the thing. That's a topic I have.
You didn't expect the move to be stressful, really?
I, for some reason, was on my nod win bullshit, where I was like, everybody in the world. Literally, it is like a defining human experience that moving house is just a stressful process for everybody. That's just how it goes. And I agree. It is stressful, but I feel like if you do it right, it wouldn't be that stressful. And I still believe that. I still believe that in terms of if we had like a move-in date. Even. Like if we knew what day it was going to be. If we knew exactly what day we'd have the house. Like that is the only hold up here. That is the one foundational thing that has left my fucking like walls of Jericho to come crumbling down, dude. All of it.
Yeah.
Literally the whole house of cards just fell on proper planning and execution is the key to having a good house moving experience. But proper planning and execution is simply not possible without dates on the board. So since this is such like an informal, weird move, we're having to do it sort of piecemeal and just like as we can. And inevitably, there will be more work to be done after that. Like, we won't be able to do what I want to do. Because what I want to do is I want to be fully ready to where all we have to do is load our shit in the car and go. That's it. End all be all. We just have to put our shit in the car, get in the car, drive over there, put it in the house, and we're done. But, unfortunately, things here, because it's a space I have to continue living in, can't work that way because I can't have it spotless when we leave and also clean it 2 weeks before we leave, or a week at this stage, I suppose, before we leave. But it's a whole thing. It's a whole fucking thing, dude. It's a big mess. But I think I'm a pretty good planner. I like to think I'm a pretty good planner. Nobody ever lets me do the planning. But that's just because I keep my fucking... When somebody like takes the helm of planning, I always just assume they know what they're doing. And they never do. The guy who's the loudest about wanting to be the one to put the plan together is always the guy who's going to fuck it up.
He's just hyped to put the plan together.
He just wants to be the guy to get it done right now. Whereas, like, I don't know, I put plans together because I need a plan right now, not because I want to put a plan together right this second. And so, like, I feel like I've honed it for myself. I feel like, for me, I'm a pretty good planner. Granted, planning for other people, I have no idea how good I'd be at that. I think I'd be absolutely, like, dog shit at it, in fact. But, for me, I think I'm a pretty good planner. But
I don't know.
This thing has really, like, put me through my paces, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. For me, I knew it was going to be stressful, but it's actually less stressful now than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a lot moving all at once, and like there is a lot moving, but it's all so calculated at this point for me, where it's just like, I just like all that will happen when it happens, and for now I need to work on this so that can happen. And so I've kind of just been chilling and not all that stressed out.
Yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to get into like, I don't want to go too far into specifics here about the situation and like what the like details of the move are, because it's a lot. It's not that like I'm hiding anything. It's genuinely just a lot of a fucking rigmarole that I don't want to get into. You know? Like I don't want to tell that whole 2 or 3 year long story. I don't want to get into the logistics of like my in-laws and whatnot. Let's whatever. But I will talk about though is the fact that we are at a stage with it now where I'm expecting 3 pieces of news. I know what 3 pieces of news I'm going to receive next. And I know what order they're coming in. I do not know when they're coming. Exactly. I know what order they'll come in. I know what they are. And the construction is finally 100% done. You are able to move in. And we are completely, like, we're ready to actually begin moving our shit. Those are the 3 pieces of news. Like construction's done, they're working on moving out, you can move in. Those are the 3 pieces of news. When will they come? Sometime in the next 7 days. Like 100%.
Yeah.
It's practically guaranteed. Everybody, every individual, me, Jed, the previous tenants, my husband, everybody involved is dead set on getting this done by the end of March. Now, we might be a day or two off. Like, there's going to be some linger bits of it, but I will have begun actually living over there on March 1st. That will be the thing. Or April 1st. It's March right now. Like on April 1st.
That's the bit the whole time.
Yeah,
that's
we're gonna be there on April
the whole
Fool's
time.
Day. They're gonna fool us with there is no house. Fuck you.
Yeah, we're gonna show up and no house. The house that they've been building that you've seen the inside of, it's gonna be gone.
It's not gonna be real. There will have been no house.
They're gonna have ripped it up. They just did it as a prop. That would be terrible.
That would be terrible. But I find packing in particular pretty satisfying. I don't mind doing it. I like clearing a space. I like making things tidy. I don't mind it at all. I find cleaning really therapeutic. I find planning and scheduling very stressful, even though I am self-proclaimed decent at it. Like I just find it a stressful process, especially when you have to work around other people. Like if it's a group plan, God help you, you know. But I find cleaning up very unstressful. I find that, like, if I'm not under a time limit anyway, like cleaning out like an Airbnb because go, we have like 2 hours left before checkout. We have to get the trash out. We gotta like make sure all the lights are off. Make sure like none of the sinks are left running or some shit. You know, none of the there are no like dirty plates in the dishwasher. Run that. You know, like that kind of cleaning sucks. But like generally, like cleaning up is not a problem for me. I like it. It de-stresses me quite a bit to sit and like I'm gonna mop the floor now so that the floor is nice and clean for later. You know, it's a good point of control. I find it's a good like grounding thing for me to like sit and like clean something. You know, I don't know.
I like finishing a cleaning job. I hate doing it every time, and I got this way with even like what's that game called, Viscera Cleanup, where you're getting like you're dead in the middle of it and you're like, I've just gotta like throw trash away and get laundry into a laundry bin and this and that. Yeah, and then you get to the point where it's like, oh, I just have to wipe this down and then we're good. All right, and then you just keep going. I love the like
holy shit, last step
part of it.
yeah no yeah but I find cleaning very, very unstressful. I find it to be like a very calming activity, and I'm glad we're on the same page on that. I know a lot of people, like every time I tell somebody that, they're like, what the fuck? Cleaning is like the most stressful thing in the world. I hate it. I hate doing it. It's so overwhelming. And it's just like, yeah, no, you're thinking of the pre-clean. You're thinking of laying in your room, rotting in bed, going, oh fuck, the 17 McDonald's bags on my end table need to go. But there are 17 of them, and that's a lot of trips back and forth to the trash can. Oh, man. And yeah, that part does suck. I'm talking about, oh man, all those McDonald's bags are gone. Thank fuck. Woo! I feel better, you know? And like, the act of doing, because it's not cleaning itself. The act of it isn't really that, like, good for me. Like, the activity is good. The activity is good, and it does help de-stress. I actually find the act of it to be, like, again, like you said, being in the middle is very, like, keep doing this. But usually, if I'm stressed out, doing a simple task is good, you know? Like, anything would have sufficed. It's just the extra dopamine hit I get when a thing is done being cleaned, you know? Of just like, yeah, it's done. And now it's, like, especially, like, my living space. I like to, like, fuck, I was just sitting in this, like, living room, like, an hour ago, and it looked like shit. And now it looks, you know, it looks like a damn fine living room. That's good. I like that. Awesome. I live in like a very clean, well-kept space right now, and that's nice, you know? And then I don't clean for like 2 weeks straight, and then I like binge clean all of it in a weekend again, and then it's good for the next 2 weeks, and repeat. But the process of that weekend is very, very fun. It's a good weekend. You know. But either way.
Yeah.
I
think we're gonna get like
I don't know.
We're gonna get like a big post-clean thing where we're just gonna be like, oh shit, we finished the move? Whoa, and it's gonna
that's what I'm looking at
and over.
That's what I'm looking at on my planning is just, oh, we're done moving, fucking what now? You know, what do we do now? And Personally, I've had on the books kind of like in my mind's eye, not really on any paper or anything, without any real deciding on what I'm going to do exactly. I've already opted that I want to cook a big like celebratory like dinner for that, just because like that's something I'm hyped about. I'm hyped to be able to cook, you know? I'm hyped to have like a full size kitchen to work with, you know? And that'll be great. That'll be great to not be eating microwaved garbage and like air fried shit all the time, nonstop. That cannot be good for you. Eating frozen food every meal of the day, it genuinely cannot. But either way, though,
it lacks nutrients. But
I thought you were about to say Lex Luthor because the way you said lax, and I was just like, what are you fucking talking about? Why is like, what are we doing? I was like really confused.
Yeah, I don't even like. I don't know how you got to that. That's how far you got. Was that I don't even know how you got to Lex Luthor. Like, how did you not just like hear that and go, "Oh, it's not that." Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what happened. But like, I'm talking about like the millisecond before you finished the rest of that sentence. There's like a gap in there where I was like, "Why? Where we're going? What fucking?" Like, I had like a, "Ooh, what is he setting up here? You know, where is he heading?"
Lex Luthor, what?
But speaking of cleaning, though, I find that like. I find that a good move clean, like this is the only time everything I own will be clean, you know, like completely. I feel like, maybe I'm just a slob. Maybe that's the case. But I feel like at some point when you like really like are comfortable in a space and you settle in, there begins to be like a couple pieces of load bearing garbage, not like food containers or anything, nothing that'll like rot. But like, for instance, for example, I bought these USB-A to USB-C adapters like 6 weeks ago. Opened them, plugged one into my computer to use it, and just have the box with one of them in it. Like the open, like I didn't even think I wanted. No, I took it out and I put it in the drawer. This just has like a little quick start guide on how to plug it into your computer. I need to stress with like, and this thing doesn't have a warranty or nothing. This is just a piece of cardboard garbage that's just on my desk. Why haven't I thrown it away yet? I don't know. It's just one of those pieces of garbage that just, it leaves right there, and I could throw it away right now, but I'm not gonna, you know? It's gonna sit right there. Like, I don't know, is that something you run into? Load-bearing garbage? Or is it just me?
No.
Like, just a piece where it's like, I'm not having, like, a situation where I don't want to get rid of it. It's just like a, why would I right now? You know? And like, cleaning it be an inconvenient piece to get rid of.
I agree with you in the sense that I think that everything has like a base level quote unquote mess to it. I don't think everybody's detailing every object in their house all the time. Like I think that's a pretty absurd
You know what I find
notion,
obnoxious?
But
dusting. I don't dust anything. Like if something has a layer of dust on it and I notice it, I will clean it. But I'm not walking around my house dusting. I'm not doing that. Ever. That will never be something that I do. I feel like if dusting is part of like your weekly cleaning routine, dust does not build up that fast. What are you in the fucking, like, are you living in a sandstorm actively? No. Stop dusting. Make it part of the monthly clean. Why are you, I mean, I guess if you live somewhere with a bunch of sand in the air, yeah. But like here where it's all moist, it just, the dust just doesn't build up enough. I guess it's just a regional thing. But
I would assume so, yeah.
Like, but, if you set something down, it's going to be like a week or two.
Like, dust things consistently.
It'll be like 3 weeks minimum before you see any dust on it, like visibly. So dusting every week, just you're cleaning air, dude. Stop. You know, that's what I think about when I see people like going about that.
Because you're just wiping shit down that's already pretty much clean, dude.
Yeah, no, you're just giving it a little like cursory
the whole thing is like upkeep. Like you do one of those cursory wipes every week, and you'll never have to do a more
you'll never have to clean it. But it's just like I don't really do things like that. Maintenance. I don't do maintenance till I have to, unless it's routine. Like unless it's like I brush my teeth, I get my showers, I wipe my mouse down with a wet wipe every like couple of days because it gets like skin oil shit on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like it gets like a grime on it from just like I've been holding this object like 6 hours a day every day, you know? And sometimes my hand will sweat a little or a little piece of dead skin will hit it, whatever. But it's just like I don't know. Like unless I gotta clean it regularly, I just clean it when it needs cleaning.
Yeah, and like that's what I've been having with the move as well, is just like the things that are coming with me. I don't want them to be dirty pretty much at all. Like I want everything I'm
Yeah,
taking
you want
to be
everything
like
you're moving into a brand new
practically
house to be
factory new.
spotless. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want it to smell like the old place. I don't want it to have any like stains on it or nothing. That's how I am with all of my shit. Like not even that this place has a bad smell. It's just a smell. Like every house has a distinctive like scent to it, and I don't want to bring old house smells into a new house, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like for me, I've been like in my free time, I have this like electric drum kit, and I've been like taking off the drum heads and shit and just like wiping out the inside with like a vinegar water solution that's just like cuts out all the smell and makes it like shine again, you know?
Yeah, and
that's just been what I've doing.
Those kinds of cleans where you like disassemble something and clean it, I find can be really rewarding. Those can be like the best cleans to do, because it's like, man, this thing that like I'm either about to begin using again, like is about to be in use again, and that's why I'm cleaning it, and has been out of use a while, so it needs it. Like, or this thing that like I use regularly anyway needs its routine thing. Like doing routine maintenance on something like that makes me feel like I really like care about it and like own one, you know? Like it's easy to get like weirdly imposter syndrome for me about my hobbies, where it's like, yeah, like I know a good bit about, you know, this thing, but I don't know. Like I don't know everything. There's somebody out there that knows more than me, therefore I dare not proclaim myself openly like a super fan of this thing, or like a particularly big interest in this thing, or claim any knowledge to it, because somebody with more knowledge than me might come along, and then that might be a problem, because they might know like contrary information, you know, of some kind. Yeah. And so it's like, it's a real issue for me. So when I'm doing stuff like that, that is when I most feel like I like am not a fucking poser for like having whatever thing is like, no, I'm using it. Like the mere fact that I need to clean it right now is signed that I've used it enough that it needs to be cleaned. So, or had it long enough that it needs to be cleaned even. And that in and of itself, I feel, is just like a little boost, you know? But I'm getting a lot of, I don't know. I'm getting a lot of last times. That's another topic I've got right here. I told you this privately, but I've been watching this YouTuber do like a very long-term project. Specifics don't matter here. But he said something that I'm sure isn't his quote. It's probably somebody else's. Because it's way too profound and way too simple to be something that like that's the only thing is like, it's one of those statements that's like, you don't have a 3-letter username in this game. All of those are taken. It's been out for more than a day, dude. Come on. You know, where it's like all the combinations of words that mean something that are less than like 6 words long are absolutely not your original thought somehow, you know?
Yeah.
But he said this. He said, a project really feels like it's finally wrapping up, like for real, when you start noticing that you're doing things for the last time. And I feel that way about this move a lot, where it's like, I have one more grocery trip, of course, because I got an additional week. But last week I was under the impression that like, this is my last trip to the grocery store out here. Not that it's particularly anything special, but it's another last time I can mark off the list, you know? And like, like I'm getting to it's getting to the point where like I'm getting to the bottom of my bottle of shampoo, and I'm like, man, I might finish this before the move. And I hope I do, because I'd love to be able to throw away a bunch of empty toiletry bottles instead of like actively actively having to like transport that stuff. I hate doing that. For a trip, I'll just skip a couple days brushing my teeth. It's fucking disgusting, but I'd much rather do that than do the like, all right, I'm going to put it in like a little Ziploc, and then I'm going to put it in like a special pocket in my bag, and then I'm going to remember it's there, and oh fuck, we just got to the hotel and I don't have my toothpaste. I'm not buying like a $7 toothpaste at the check stand down there. Fuck that. I'm just going to go to bed. You know? It happens that way every time, and I just got sick of it at a certain point. So I was just like, fuck it.
You just refused.
I would genuinely much rather, like, with the exception of, like, my hair stuff, like, I like the way my hairdryer dries my hair, and, like, I find that every hairdryer is different. That's something I've come to find out, is that, like, you buy a new hairdryer, you have to adjust to its temperament, like a fucking horse. You know? You have to figure out how far away from my head is optimal for this one, what like hotness setting do I want it on? out of the like 3 options. What like speed setting do I want it on? Do I need a diffuser for this one, or does it diffuse well enough on its own? Like all of that shit. Like I've just got all that figured out on my current one. Me and my current hairdryer are pretty seasoned. We're pretty locked in. So I don't want to. I don't want to remove that part of my routine. But the disposable shit, like toothbrushes and like shampoo bottles, hell yeah, I'd love to be able to throw that shit in the garbage and say, fuck it, I'll buy a new one when we move. It's like $2, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, but I picked up the bottle of shampoo and it was almost empty. And I was like, well, this will be the last bottle of shampoo for this bathroom, I guess. And then I thought about it and I was like, why does that make a difference to me? Why do I give a fuck about that?
Yeah.
Like, why is that almost
why do you
like
care?
like it's almost reassuring, I guess, in some way that like, yeah, it's real. It's really happening. Like, do not buy another bottle of shampoo for this house. You're just gonna have to move a half-empty bottle of shampoo if you do that. You know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's a case like that where it's just a lot of last times. And you know, that's fine. Everything comes to an end, and I'm not particularly attached to this place, but it's just like, I don't know. I've lived within one county of where within a county of where I was born for like my entire life, and it'll be nice to get a little distance from all of it and be in a place where not like a quarter of the population knew me in diapers, you know? Get out of like this small community and go to a different community where nobody knows who I am, and I can like live as an adult and not like, because I don't know, I find that like parents kind of stop, like, I mean, you have a good relationship with your parents, well, one of them at least, so like maybe it's not like to me to say that, but like I find that like maybe that's not true for you, but like in my experience, it's been very like, sometimes things are held on to that are like embarrassing, and it's just like, I might be losing this argument, but like, here's a photo of you at 4 having your like asshole washed out with the water hose because you shit yourself, buddy. Have that one. You know, like what? How do you come back from that? You don't. And so it'll be nice to be like a one up. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't really hold on to that kind of shit. And I can't. That's one of the things about the move that's like both disconcerting and like really refreshing and like exciting, is that like, I don't know, I get to like, I don't have to carry like the last like 23 years of baggage. I can grow as a person. I can be allowed to grow more as a person if the people who knew me before I started my growth weren't always around. Yeah. Like if I weren't consistently surrounded by that kind of people, then it would be way easy. You know, you're having a weird.
I'm having a weird like backwards feeling with that, because like I'm moving to like a smaller town in the South, and those are known for like, you kind of know everybody a little bit and things like that. But here, I grew up in like, you know, a town outside of like a big city, and it's not a huge town, but it's not a, you know, small town either. So it's kind of like podunk, nobody knows me, and that's fine most of the time. However, it's gonna be weird going to somewhere where everybody knows you. Like that is I'm going to the Cheers place. But I guess I
didn't consider how that would be for you. I guess I wasn't thinking about it, because I guess larger population centers allow you that sort of anonymity. And we'll still be close enough to a big, like we'll be 30 minutes from like a major population center, so it's not like it's gonna be that tight knit where like everywhere we're going. But like, you know, we're going to somewhere where like, if you were here last week, the lady behind the counter is probably the same one. You know, if your routine will involve a lot of the same people regularly. You know, and so that's, you know, you sort of begin to lose that anonymity, and I don't know. I don't have any problem with that personally, but I've been living that way forever, you know, so like it doesn't have any effect on me, like stressing or otherwise.
Get
used
to it. Yeah, because like, of course, if you go to the same McDonald's, of course, the people working at the McDonald's are probably going to be the same people. But I just mean in general, like, I haven't had anybody call me by my name who is a stranger in like ever. Like, I've never met somebody and it's been like, oh yeah, I knew you when you were a kid. Yeah, that's never happened before.
That happens to me all the time.
Mainly because I look so distinctly different, but yeah. That was kind of the thing about COVID, is that COVID had happened right in that barrier for me that was like, it was right around my high school time. So like that is when most people develop from like, yep, this is how they looked as a middle schooler and this is how they looked as an adult. This like those couple years were a transitional phase and nobody got to transition with me because I was locked away in my house. So it was like a middle school boy went into that house and then 2 years later, like a grown ass adult man came out. So that's why I think that nobody really knows me here as well.
You haven't heard?
You
haven't heard? They printed it in the fucking like local news in your area, dude. People didn't think that you were the same guy. They thought an orc ate you.
Oh, damn.
They thought the orc that lived in that house just got your ass.
I can't believe it. The house orc got to me, dude. The well-known house orc.
It implies that like your current self is like the house orc that ate that boy.
I am the house orc. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, but another topic.
Yeah.
Unless you have more to say about this. Another topic.
I don't have much to say about house orc.
Right then. Well, not about house orc, but we were talking about anonymity and shit. Either way.
No,
I'm oddly apprehensive. We both expressed this in private. I'm oddly apprehensive about living with a new person now that it's like cemented as proper reality. Not that I didn't say it when I meant it about, yeah, come over anytime, you know? Like, of course I mean that. But, like, it's... I don't know. What do you mean, really? We talked about it. Like, you're my friend, and I know you as my friend, and we live very far away from each other. So we're, like, internet friends, even. So, like, we don't even hang out physically in the same room a lot. And I found that, like, the one time that we had been in the same room for an extended period, it was a very different vibe, weirdly enough. Not like a bad one. Mm-hmm. It just, like, it altered the dynamic a little bit in a way that I didn't quite mind. Like, it just felt like a more subdued, muted version of, like, how we are to each other regularly. Like, I felt like because of, like, because of the physicality of it, a lot more of it was able to go unsaid, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it is, mostly. Like we can hang out in that way. And I am kind of nervous about that as well, of just, like, I've never been... So, first of all, I've never lived outside of my childhood home. Like, I've lived in the same house with my mom for my entire life. So I don't know your customs type of thing, where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to load the dishwasher and get yelled at because I loaded it wrong, you know?
No.
And that's kind of the thing I'm nervous about.
That's the kind of stuff I'm nervous about. Yeah, it's partially like a vibes thing. And, like, I don't know, you know how it is. You introduce a new person to, like, any equation. Me and Basil have been living together for long enough to know each other's habits and know each other's customs very, very well and very, very deeply. And so, like, we both understand how we operate on a day-to-day, and we both have, like, little compromises about how we like things done to make sure it's done the way both of us like it done. But, like, those are just sort of learned. We've never sat down and had a discussion about it. Nobody's ever yelled at anybody about the dishwasher or anything. Like, so there's not really going to be much aggression about it. I think it'll be fine. But generally, like, that's just the kind of stuff. It's just like, what does introducing a third person to this, like, very well-oiled equation we have going mean? You know, what does that mean for not for my relationship, but what does that mean for our relationship as friends? And then on top of that, what does that mean for, like, our living situation? You know, it's like, I'm not worried about us, like, moving in together and hating each other instantly, because, like, that I don't see that as a real possibility at all. But it's just a matter of, like, it's just a matter of concern of just, like, there's going to be an adjustment period. I can see it. It's just a matter of, like, getting through that adjustment period. And so there's just some anxiety associated with that. And it's part of the larger anxiety of the move, pushing that further, really. Mm-hmm. But hey, one good thing about being in the same house that I can guarantee will be an upshot, the Jed thing will be solved. I don't know if we've ever expressed to the audience what the Jed thing is. But they're aware of it. I just don't think they know what it's called. He does this thing, right? Jed does, where he'll say, "Hey, I am going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a sec." And then he'll be gone for 30 to 45 minutes. and then he'll come back. No explanation as to what happened. If something major happened, he will explain, but usually nothing major happens. It was just like a particularly long, I needed a pee and a beverage instead, you know? But like,
yeah.
And I just like kind of took a long time to do that. But like, it's just, I realize that will be something. It's infuriating because it's always right before something. You always have like a, wait, hold on real quick. Before we do this, can we wait like a minute while I go up and do a thing? And it's just like, oh shit. Because like usually you're pretty good about those particular ones only being a minute or two these days. Because I've like bitched at you enough about it that I got what I wanted. And what I wanted was for you to improve at that and not do that as often. And so, like, we're in a state with it where it's not, like, a super nuisance or anything. It's just, like, a mild thing that Jed does that's, like, kind of annoying some of the time. And so now it's very easy, or, like, once we're in the same space, it'll be very easy to keep tabs on him and be able to just, like, Jed, it won't be an issue of we're having a casual conversation and Jed just took his headphones off to go to the bathroom. I'll be able to physically see him get up and physically see him like, oh, he's in the kitchen now. Like we'll just go talk in there. Fuck it. You know?
Yeah. I was thinking about that earlier today because I was, you had like given me shit for going to the bathroom, but it's like, I feel like those moments are going to be a lot easier because you'll just be able to like physically see that I am still in the bathroom. Yes. And it'll make that time a little less long because I think sitting alone at your desk in dead silence is just like absolutely the saddest way to do it. So it's you notice it a lot more when it's like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for Jed.
Mm-hmm. So you're just sitting there.
You're just sitting there silently and nothing to speak. And that we're gonna leave that dead air in because that was intentional, of course. But like it's awkward when you're sitting by yourself and you're counting the seconds of like Jed has been gone for 10 minutes instead of like Jed has been gone for 10 minutes, but I hear him washing his hands in the bathroom, you know? Like
he's nearly done. I've got a progress update waiting on me. You know, I'll know how Jed's doing in a minute. But you know, I find I'm in like the opposite thing. Speaking of sitting at your desk alone for hours at a time, I found that like again because a lot of my shit can't be done until later. Whereas like I've got plenty of shit that can keep me busy. But like that could keep me busy that's move related, but like none of it is really needed right now. None of it would be ideal to do today, you know, or tomorrow for that matter. And so it's just a matter of sit here at my desk and like bum around and play video games until the move starts actually. Because if I start like I can't do anything productive. Then I want to like I'm on a hiatus right now and thank God I am because when this move actually does kick up, it's going to be a very weird like few days, I think, where like I'm just like I expect that outside of like the 5 or 6 p.m. on Wednesday that you intend to arrive, time will not matter to me once the move begins. It will simply be just a wash of what day of the week is it? I have no fucking idea these boxes need moved. What day of the week is it? I don't know. We're going to go buy a bed frame. You know? Like I feel like it's going to turn into a lot very fast for me, and I don't want to have to juggle doing content with that, which is why I have had to like weirdly long extend the hiatus. But these have been really lazy times for me. These have been like awfully lazy times, and so like I got just fuck all going on, and because Jed's so busy, there's nobody here during the day, and so and my husband like goes to work every day, of course, and so I sit at home and I write shit down that I have ideas for, and I see cool videos on TikTok, and I send them to Jed for him to view later, or save them to show them to my husband when he gets back home. You know, but like generally, it's just sit around and wait for like everybody to get here so the day can start. Because it's like that's a normal amount of time. I'm usually not doing anything during that time, but. Like, not that I'm not doing anything. I'm usually being productive during that time. I'm not usually doing social things during that time. It's just productivity has fallen off so hard intentionally that, like, I have nothing to fill that gap with now. So I just have to sit at the desk and just, like, look at a screen and, like, well, I guess I'll watch another, like, 6 video essays. That'll do. You know?
Yeah, and I feel so bad because it's, like, we've, like, hard flipped. Where it used to be I was the one like bumming around and playing video games and you were the one doing stuff. But like we've flipped now where it's like you'll DM me and I'll be able to respond and then suddenly I'll stop responding and that's just how it'll be for hours because I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And I feel terrible about it, but like there's just nothing that can be done because we're just in opposite phases. And once I'm doing like fuck all and driving, you're gonna be doing all the hard shit. So it's like,
your
we're just gonna have like a
phase is going to still be
being
active. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
But
that makes this lazy period very difficult for me. That makes this lazy period very difficult for me is all. It's just particular. It's it's something.
It is.
But with this added downtime, I do have a plan.
Yeah?
Were you going somewhere with that? Do you want
not
to do
really.
a transition this
say,
episode, or do you want to keep fucking up my transitions over and over all episode?
I'm
literally
sorry,
every transition I've tried to transition, and you've gone, it is, or but the, with literally no intended end for those sentences ever. Far as I can tell, because every time I like stop and I'm like, oh, Jed wants to do a transition, I'll give it to him. Then I give it to you, and you're like, I got nothing, you take it, and then I take it back, and now we've ruined the whole nother transition. I felt like I needed to make a point of this one because we haven't gotten a transition in all episode. But because I got a lot of downtime, and my husband works like 4 days out of a 5-day work week. Sometimes, like usually there's like a gap day, and he doesn't work weekends either. So it's easy to slip stuff in there. I'm thinking this weekend, while I got nothing going on, or maybe during the week, potentially. Like during this last week, because I'm having a lot of those last times and I'm getting real sentimental about where I'm from for now. I usually don't have any like insanely good feelings toward this place. So what I want to do is I want to go around, and there's like shit, like there's like a Mexican restaurant we like keep driving past but never stop at, and we keep going, oh, we need to try that at some point. Or like we keep meaning to go to the library and have a gander around, just to look and see it. And then like we keep meaning to go to the swamp and take one of the boat tours. We keep meaning to do this. We keep meaning to do that. So I just wanted to make make some time, schedule some appointments, and use some of that downtime that I have to really just appreciate my area, I think, for a day. Maybe it'll be over multiple days, just whatever's most convenient. But I would like to just have one very eventful day of just like, yep, today is about celebrating this place that we live in right now. And exploring it and experiencing it to its fullest. Maybe squeeze some like geocaching in there or something, because there's like a weirdly high amount of geocaches in like small shitbird towns like this. So it'll be good to just like bum around town a day. Maybe we'll do what we do. Maybe we'll do what like everybody here does and like pop in the Walmart and hang out there and just kind of bum for like an hour. Maybe that's what we'll do. I don't know, the whole afternoon or evening like some people do. Yeah, dude. People hang out in the Walmart parking lot on the weekends. It's a real thing. That's a real thing that people do because they'll tailgate. They'll park and they'll play some music and they'll hang out. They'll tailgate the Walmart parking lot. Or some people like me who just kind of like to shop because there's not a whole lot else to do. Sometimes I'll just go in and like just peruse for like a good like hour or two, and then I'll leave. And that's what most people are doing. Just take an afternoon, go to the Walmart. They got like 12 departments. Things. You can make a day of it. It's really not that hard.
It's
a lot of that around here. It's a lot of just making something out of nothing.
Time in Walmart. Yeah, my goal in life is to spend as little time in Walmart. Walmart fucking is terrible. I hate it. I've never had a good experience in a Walmart.
But I feel like some of my earliest childhood memories were in a Walmart, man. I've got like, sure, it's like a corporate, like bland hellscape, but like, it was the fucking like prison cell they raised me in, dog. I gotta have a little bit of Stockholm for it. Come on, But like, I don't like the aesthetic at all. I don't like the company at all. I just like, I don't know. I just don't really have any like, I don't really have any problem like being in a Walmart for an extended period. I like being in stores though.
Relatively indifferent to Walmart.
I love shopping, dude. You could send me to like a thrift store and I will just walk around for like an hour going, oh shit, look at this little like Hummel figurine, or look at this like t-shirt, or look at this old TV, or this old computer, or like this like ham radio, or like fucking a lamp or a vase or something. I don't even like books. I'll look at the books. Like I'm not that into literature that might be at a fucking Goodwill, but I'll gander. I'll dig through a box of books. Don't you fucking doubt me. And so, like, I feel like that's a discrepancy we'll run into a lot because, I don't know, again, we have very limited physical experience with each other, but what I know about you and how you behave in stores, it kind of seems like you really don't want to be there at any given moment, and so I feel like that might become an issue for us. Why not? Why does being in, like, an establishment make you antsy?
Establishments are liminal spaces, dude. If you're at a Walmart, you are disrespecting other people's times if you are not moving and grabbing the shit you need.
You might be the single most disrespectful of people's times person that I know. How in the fuck are you making a big stink about taking 5 extra minutes to get the groceries? You're the king of I take 5 extra minutes to get the groceries.
It's not even just that. It's just that, like, that is in my brain of just, like, that's how stores work.
That's just the etiquette of it is you move. No, but, like, those little antique shops and shit. Like, the shit like that you browse. You don't stop. Yeah. Like, you don't full sprint through the store. Like, stores that you go into where you don't need anything, but you just want something, you know? Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of shopping I'm talking about. Grocery shopping isn't, like, a joy for me or anything. I do dig it. I don't mind it. It's nice to, like, go out and, like, select the next, like, week and a half's worth of food, you know? But, like, otherwise?
Yeah.
You know, not super one way or the other about it, you know?
That's the other thing that we'll have to get over is that since COVID hit, I don't think I have gone into a grocery store for more than 10 minutes ever since then. Because it's very much so just like, yeah, we're going to order through the Walmart pickup, and then we're going to pick up from Walmart at this designated time, and then we'll drop it off. And there's our groceries for the rest of the week.
You trust somebody else to do your grocery shopping for you? Maybe this is why you never know what you have in your kitchen.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I don't do the grocery shopping. That's my mom. But like, it's less that I trust somebody to grab the shit. It's that I trust that, because I've done that. I've done one of those floor walking jobs. You have to scan the item when you pick it up, and then it has to register that yes, that is the item that they want. Okay, now put it in the cart. Like, there's a whole, like, it would be hard to fuck up to get your order wrong. And of course that does happen where it's like, hey, we had to substitute this. But generally, substitutions are
and that's my problem, though, is like, I might be sacrificing an additional 30 minutes to an hour depending on whether you get, like, curbside pickup. We'll have door pickup available to us for groceries, by the way. So I think I'll have to just get over it at a certain point. And they deliver them in these, like, freezer-safe, like, cold bags, too. So, or not freezer-safe, but, like, frozen goods, like, cold bags. So they, like, if you buy, like, ice cream or something, it will arrive cold. It's fine. You know? And so, like, that's gonna be nice. I can't wait for that. But right now, as it stands, I'm broke as shit because of this move and because of some debts that I'm settling and a bunch of other shit. And frankly, I'm just, like, irresponsible with, like, the money I have that isn't needed for anything. I'm kind of just, like, very flagrant about, fuck it, I have $20, I want this thing, you only live once, grab it, you know? Like, I can afford it, and I want it, I'm gonna get it, you know? Like, that's just the way I am with shit. And because of that, I end up running dead broke at the end of the month, and I always tell people, like, no matter how bad it gets, do not pity me. 9 times out of 10, if I'm having a week 2 ice soup moment, it's my own fault. A lot of the time it isn't.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm actually starving, like, if I'm low on groceries for it, no. But, like, if, like, I'm in, like, a situation where it's like, man, I don't have any money, it's because I fucking spent it all. Like, I'll always make sure I have enough for bills. I'll always make sure I have the right amount to pay my bills and keep a roof over my head, keep food on the table. But, like, expenditures for, like, extra shit, like buying a game here or there, or, like, getting a nice little trinket for myself are, like, they're a little high. They're a little higher than they should be. But I'm willing to pivot. I'm willing to pivot because, frankly, because I'm so broke, I never get out of the house. That's the point I'm making. If it weren't for grocery trips, I don't think I will. Oh my God, that's really sad to say. I don't think I've left the house for anything other than a grocery trip in 6 months. Those dental appointments.
Wow.
And Christmas.
That is really
I guess
sad
I've gone to holidays, but I've done maybe 5 things that aren't a grocery trip in my car in the last like 6 months. And like narrow that down to just since New Year's, I don't think I've been in the car for anything that wasn't a grocery trip.
Wow.
Genuinely. I get in the car, I get like fast food or like go sit at a restaurant and eat, and then I get groceries and then I come home, and that's just like my outing for the week. That's my I go outside and experience the world time, because that's all I can afford to do, because everything costs money these days, man. But we'll be a lot closer to a lot more shit like when we move. Like there will be more to be able to do, and I will have more money to do it with. So I'm totally down to like swap out my grocery trips for like once a week, twice a week. We'll like go to the theater, we'll go to like a club, we'll go to like a something that we want to do, you know? And make an effort to like have a good time doing it, you know? And I'm stoked about that.
I want to start doing that, because I never really did that, because I didn't really have a high school where it was like, I never really went out with friends and went to the movies and did all that. Like, all that kind of passed me by mostly. And in fact, I was in the beginning stages of that in middle school, and I remember fucking hating it. I actually hated going to the movie theater with my friends, because I was like, well, I want to go with them because I want to be a good friend, but also I'm uninterested in this movie. And they're like fucking around and like bumming around in the movie theater and like laughing and having a good time, and I'm just kind of here. So it'll be nice to actually get that back a little bit, if that makes sense. That thing that I lost, or perceived that I lost.
Yeah, I did a lot less of that in high school than most people, but I still got to have those like core experiences. So like I don't feel like I'm catching up on lost time as much, but I've always had a friend group that hasn't, like, all of my friends, like, in high school were all, like, people who are kind of my same interests, and so it's like, these are all people that don't leave their house by choice. These are all people that, like, I do this shit because I like it, yeah. I'm not sure that I would be as, like, chronically online if I had all the money in the world, dude. I definitely would not be on Twitter nearly as often. Whereas, like, I was hanging out with people who were on Twitter 8 hours a day because they like being on Twitter, you know? I'm on Twitter because it's cheaper than, like, going to the park or something, or listening to somebody else's drama, you know? It's cheaper to do that than go find my own exciting shit. It's easier to sit back and watch all, like, the most exciting shit that happened today roll at me, you know? But
there's gonna be so much shit that we can find. Like, actually, we were talking about this the other day, where I had made a joke, because I saw a TikTok about entering your 20s and realizing that you've only got a few years left to develop all your quote-unquote dad lore before you're a dad. And I was like, well, we got to do that now. We got to just do random shit to like have those experiences for like no other reason than to have the experience.
And
I think that'll be a really fun thing.
This is slightly off topic, but like I was talking to you last night about it, and it's something that's been rolling around in my head for a while. But like, as a bit, of course, I was like, man, I really need to get hurt. I only got like a good 6 years on me before I can't take hitters like that, and that's generous, you know? And I've never really like, throughout my teenage years and throughout my young adulthood at least, I've never really done any physical stuff that could have gotten me really hurt before. Because I'm not really an adrenaline junkie like that. And so like I don't do that kind of shit just because I don't really like, the downside outweighs the upshot for me, but it's just like, man, I should get into doing some more physical. Like, I meant it as like a haha funny. I should like bash my head into the concrete while there's still time. I have my youth. I should use it kind of shit. But like on a serious note, I was like, man, I really should use my physical form more often instead of just using it to sit my ass at a desk and like be digital, you know? But like, you know, that's what I'm thinking is like once we're near like a major city center, we'll have like a lot of like shit to do, a lot of stuff to do in general, a lot of places to see, a lot of things to do, and it'll be a great time. But I'm excited to like on a much smaller scale do one big last hurrah in my hometown of like, oh yeah, let's go check that out. Let's go to all my favorite spots. Let's go to all my least favorite spots. Let's see it all one more time. Around the bend and back. And I'm excited to do that. I'm like getting weirdly choked up thinking about it. And I'm excited that it'll hopefully be a good time. It'll be at the very least, a good day out, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of planning things for specific days, which again, like we said at the top of the show, is pretty difficult right now. Speaking of planning things for future days, I've got a really wonky way to use a calendar right now. I bought a calendar. I bought a 2025 like Minecraft themed calendar of all things, just because I was like, fuck it, I make Minecraft content. I wouldn't buy this because I like it. I'll, fuck it. I'll buy it because it'll match the like work I'm doing. You know,
it goes for the brand. Yeah,
it's a work calendar for all my content shit. Basically, is what it'll be used for most of the time. Like I'm putting it up in my office, so it may as well be themed. You know. So I've got this like Minecraft calendar, except I have paneling, not drywall. You can't pierce paneling with a thumbtack. That's not possible. It's too thick and like straightforward of a material, and I don't have a cork board to put this thing on right now. Not one that's like high enough off the ground. I've got like a cork strip that runs along like a whiteboard, but that like hangs above the bed, and so the calendar would like dangle right above my head. And I don't know.
It would be looming over you.
The time would be literally looming over me as I rested. Yes, but like it would just most importantly though, it'd be awkward to write on it at that angle. And so like I've just sort of like because of this moving stuff, this is the first time this year I've had to use it. So I've just have it on my desk, and every time I need it, I pick it up, flip it open to March, write something down or cross something off, whatever I need done, and then close it and put it back on my desk. So it's more of a planner than a calendar right now.
Yeah.
It'll become more of a calendar once I have a drywall to put it on, you know? But like
that
won't be the case for like another week. So but like because I'm using it, it's so funny.
Like a calendar is like a book, dude. Like take it out when it's needed. That's such a bizarre way to do that. Why don't you just have it open on your like desk or something? Like
it's a wall calendar, man. It's made out of paper. It won't stand on its own. I mean, I guess I could have it flat on my desk, but you've seen my desk. I don't have a little room. I can't dedicate a whole corner of the desk to having a calendar flipped open to the current month. And even if I could, it wouldn't be in a spot that I could see from sitting at my chair. You know, it would have to be a spot like on the end of the desk. No, like he probably couldn't see it either.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a guy named Mark in Vox's house at all times. He really only cares about the calendar. So it's important. It's important.
No, this is a stupid bit.
It is a dumb bit.
But I've just been very wonky with my calendar usage lately, and I felt that painted a funny picture. And
why don't you just use like Google Calendar?
I always have trouble with that. The thing, okay, so this is what makes it double funny that I'm using this calendar this way. The idea was, I never use my digital calendars because they don't save, and like I don't have like one calendar that I can just look at and go, yes, this has all my shit on it. I'm just going to stop doing it digitally and do it physically so that I have a calendar up on my wall at all times. And if somebody asks me if I'm free on Friday to do a thing at a certain time, I can just glance at my calendar and go, yeah, sure, or no, depending, I guess. But like, I got it for ease of use so that it could be a wall calendar on my wall, and it's become a calendar book, but only for a little while longer. It's just happened to be needed a little sooner than I thought I would need it. So I've just been using it for that. Oh man.
But the move has been a pain in the ass to plan around because it's been moved around, but also it's just kind of a weird month. Like aside from that, with like everything going on outside of our social circle, like Vox and I have been having a hard time finding podcast topics because like everything that's going on is so like political and just like things that we've explicitly said that we don't really want to talk about a whole ton.
Most of our news segment is what's coming out in like media, and because there's no media coming out, and there are no like because there's no media coming out, there's also no world events relating to pop culture really, and so we're in just sort of this January to like, because January is where they dump all the shit movies, and the holiday season they dump all the holiday movies and TV shows and stuff, and then there's Halloween, and then there's in the summer there's like summer blockbusters and big movies and shit, like big theater, like door breakers or whatever they call those, and so like that's all very exciting, but like there's just a stretch of nothing from like January until like late spring. And so like we just have a good bit of fuck all to talk about in terms of like pop culture and stuff, because our news bit is gone. So we kind of just have to like, not gone, but it's a little sparse. And so we have to like fill the meat onto those bones during this part of the year. And it's not that hard. It's not like an arduous task or anything, but it definitely adds to the flow of the thing. Like, it definitely is additive to, like, the amount of, like, shit, do we have enough to get through this episode on topics? Who knows? You know?
Yeah, because, like, I don't know. I wish there was more going on that wasn't, like, all right, personal topics. Yeah, I wish.
You fucking wish, don't you? I bet you do.
Aren't just personal topics and are actually, like, topics that people give a shit about, but it's either personal topics or political topics at this point, and I'm getting I'm kind of mad about it. In fact, I'm mad about the state of the U.S. government. No, I'm not
mad about the state of the world.
Really.
I'm mad about the state of the world too, and that's fine.
I mean, I'm mad about the state of the world, but you know,
I don't have anything productive to say. Is primarily like why, because like usually I don't like talking about politics on the show when it's something like super damaging. If it's something like really, really bad, I don't want to say anything about it. And like while the stuff that's happening is like kind of bad now, it's like we're in a spot with it where it's just like it's becoming routine bad. And so like it's not super outlandishly bad enough that that's my like response anymore. My response is just I don't have anything productive to say about that.
Yeah.
Like, I have things to say, believe me, but everybody else is already saying them, and so there's just no point. You know? Like, what I'm saying is being heard before I say it, so I don't need to. You know? So, like, I feel like it'd be unproductive just to waste a bunch of time on the podcast to sit here and, like, say platitudes and shit about, like, how we feel about it, you know? Like, I feel like it's... You know, I feel like that's... The bases are covered on political content, and that's just not our area.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, there's plenty of people who we could recommend for political content, but that's not us. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird that it's lining up with the move though, because you would think that like in a hectic time of our life we would have more things to say, but I feel like I'm having less and less to say lately. But
I don't know. I kind of don't mind it as much. I kind of don't mind it because it's like this is the one part of this year for sure, for certain. That's actually, you know how fucking content brained I am. I genuinely, oh man, this is funny. I genuinely, when I found out in like December that it was like, yeah, it's gonna happen late February, early March, and now it's like mid to late March is when we're doing it. It got pushed back again. But like when I knew the block of time that this is gonna take place, and when I knew it was like Q1 2025, when nothing fucking happens, I realized immediately that like, oh, this is gonna fit right into that gap. I was actually like very hype about like, yes, it's good that the move is here because that's when none of the fucking news will be happening and there will be fuck all to talk about in terms of like relevant shit coming out, you know? And so like we'll be able to talk about personal topics more and we'll have more room for personal topics. Yes! That was the thought process. And so me personally, this is going exactly how I planned. This is going exactly to plan for me. I was prepped for this.
Yeah, I don't know. My personal life is just like, I guess it's because it's too personal, where it's like I don't feel the need to bring up like family drama on the show either. So like you have anecdotes and shit, and I've been fighting for topics, dude, because I rely pretty heavily on like either things that I've done with the video games and stuff, which I have had less time to do. And like yeah, it's a bizarre time for topics, at least for me. I thought it was for you too, but I suppose not. But yeah,
No, man.
I don't know. Maybe you can
I've
fill
been
that
doing
on
this
your
for a
Minecraft
while.
calendar.
It's not. It's not that hard for me to just yap about shit for like a good while or come up with enough shit to talk about to fill a time. Put what on my Minecraft calendar? What are you talking about?
Podcast topics, and when you come up with them, I'm sure you have little brackets somewhere, like those calendars that have like underneath the photo,
boxes.
like a little notes section. Oh damn!
It's just the boxes, man. That's all I got.
It's nothing but well, it's a fucking Minecraft calendar, so yeah, probably that's probably how it should be.
Yeah, I don't know, but
like
it probably should be all boxes. Yeah. It's actually a really weirdly set up calendar. It's one of those that like you're like, because everybody buys their calendars in like November, so it's one that has like November, December on it. Like it has August through December as like a 4-tile thing with like
weird
boxes that are way too small to write anything in. Like they're all shoved onto one page at the beginning. And then January is page 2, and there are just 13 pages. But it's such a, like an awkward calendar for that. I just think it's such a funny little thing, you know.
Yeah.
But back to moving. I'm excited. I'm really excited for the move, though. I know we've been talking a lot of shit about it, but I genuinely it does really excite me. There are a lot of things I'm excited about, like cooking. Like I said, I'm excited to be able to like.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be like more able to cook a full meal and clean and like fully get it all done. Like have all the amenities right there at my fingertips. I'm excited about that. But like that's not what I'm most excited for. That's what I have on the topics list here. That's what I have on the topics list here is what are you most excited for? What do you think, Jed?
Oh.
What is your I'm most excited about the move? This is my thing. This is what I'm excited about.
It's a pretty big life upheaval. If I had to pick one thing, having someone to cook food for me.
Oh, man.
Honestly, I'm not that great of a cook, and if I don't feel like cooking food, I will just stop eating and I will just neglect to eat until I feel like until the inconvenience of shit, I'm hungry.
Dude, I left out a very important detail.
Oh, did you?
I left out a very, very important detail about the style of cooking that my family does, and that style is we had pork chops and like 5 sides tonight. Of course, mashed potatoes aren't gonna fucking keep in the fridge, so you finish those like the night of. But like within like a couple hours of dinner. But like if you want a plate that's just a couple of pork chops, dude, you will be able to eat that all day tomorrow. There will be like enough left over that there will be 5 or 6 of them in a little Ziploc on the counter for like the next like day, you know, for tomorrow morning.
You keep it on you don't put it in the fridge?
It's just meat and it's cooked meat, so it can sit and you're going to reheat it anyway. So it keeps fine like that.
I always put things in the fridge like immediately.
Trust me.
Yeah, like that's gonna be one of those living things where it's like
even if I were alone, that meat would be gone by the end of the day. That is why it goes in a Ziploc on the counter and not a Ziploc in the fridge.
Yeah.
Not
that's
even
the
on
other
a plate.
issue that I
Plastic to counter, dude.
Leftovers. My mom is not. She doesn't eat a lot. And I often will be like, okay, so there's leftovers in the fridge. Let's say it's pizza. There's about 6 slices in there. I'll have 4 of them, and then I'll leave 2 for her. And then those 2 pieces of pizza will be in the fridge for like 3 days, and then I'll finally eat them, and she'll be like, "Oh, did you eat my pizza? I was gonna have that for lunch today." And I was like, "Oh man, I feel bad because food will sometimes just rot in this house because it's just like there was not enough communication that happened on either end."
Yeah, but I have that problem with my husband, but you know what the problem is? He never owns it. He's always like, you can have some if you want to, but I still kind of want it, you know? Like, he always wants the food, and he wants to eat the food. His appetite just isn't that big. And so, 3 days later, it's like, dude, this Popeyes is no good for either of us. I'm gonna I was just about to eat that. I was coming in the door to eat that today. And it's like, well, why didn't you fucking say anything?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say anything? Why were you just swearing up and down that you'll find time to eat it at some point, probably for the next 3 days straight, and then when time is finally up and there's mold on the food, that's when you want to eat it? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Get it together.
I already like settled it up of like, if it's been in the fridge for 3 days, it's fair game. Like, and that goes for everybody ever. I think that should be like a house rule, and I think that should be a house rule for fucking everybody.
The 3-day-old food, Jed. I genuinely, if it's been in the fridge for 3 days, that makes it unappetizing enough that I will throw it out anyway at day 3. Like the start of like it does not get a full 72 hours; it gets 48, and I throw it out on day 3. That is the end all be all. Food in the fridge even doesn't like. Because, like, it gets all, like, if you make, like, a pasta, it'll get all, like, congealy. Like, every food has, like, a state it enters after, like, a day or two in the fridge that just, it makes it less appetizing to reheat, dude. Just a sensory disorder, I swear. Complete nightmare to work with.
I don't seem to struggle with that. Because it's just, like, once it's in the microwave, it's, you know, back to normal.
Not really. It doesn't tend to work out that way for me, at least. I find in like on like 3-day-old food, I can usually like I'm usually sensitive enough to it that I can notice a texture difference in the food that I'm eating. Like 3-day-old microwave chicken tastes way different than it was just made today chicken.
Oh, you know? Yeah. Of course. Like that's not like necessarily what I meant. I meant more so just like I don't really care, especially with pasta. You microwave the shit out of that. If you microwave the shit out of it on day 1, it's going to be the same thing. Yeah,
pasta's the only thing. In fact, I like most of my pastas reheated. I'll say that. I think.
Yeah, well, because it settles.
I think a good 75% of pasta dishes are better after they've been left to like marinate in the fridge for an evening. Yeah, like they're better as a breakfast afterward.
Chili is like that too. Chili's really good about that.
Chili is like that because chili is the ultimate. I'm very poor and living in Soviet Russia, and it's like -4 billion degrees outside, and we're snowed in, and then the walls have all become ice around the outside, and I'm cocooned in here. I'll never escape. What can I make for food to keep myself from starving to death this evening? That's what chili is, dude. It's meat and beans. And mushrooms occasionally, depending on who you are. And some people put onions in it. I've never had a
mushroom in a chili.
I don't know.
Oh, man, onions and chili is common.
Onions and chili is a pretty common one, yeah. Dude, everybody in my home became picky eaters, like, way too fast. Like, when I was a kid, we were eating chili with everything in it. It had, like, in fact, I think even one time when we were kids, I think that my aunt made us like chili with actual peppers in it, and then put little like diced like veggies in it and shit. Whereas like today, the shit that she makes today is literally just meat and beans. That's it. It's meat and beans in like a sauce, and that's it. And it's like it still tastes fine. It still tastes like chili. It's just there's just not enough flavor or anything going on with it that I really care all that much. You know. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like after the move, that's another thing I'm excited for is really good food too. Food that's made like not only because I'm making it, but food that's made exactly the way I like it, the how I like it. Jesus. We really decided to record on a day where I just cannot speak. I don't know what's happening. It is a weird day.
We're both of us are like tripping over our words. This is an incredible podcast episode. Just an odd
happening, man. Oh boy. But what I'm most excited for is a hard thing to nail down. I got so much shit. I didn't think of anything before I wrote that question. I had cooking as like a back burner, but I kind of pulled that parachute like an hour early and talked about it.
Yeah, dude. Come on, pick one thing about the new house. Or
I'm excited to have a master bathroom. I'm excited to be able to like get out of bed in the middle of the night and be in the bathroom in 3 footsteps. You know, that's something I'm excited about. I'm excited to have the master bedroom in a house. I thought I was
getting the master.
No, I'm getting the master. You're getting the. The thing was, I put the office in the smallest space so that you could have the bigger of the 2 bedrooms that are left over. Yeah,
I know. I was gonna be the most outrageous motherfucker. That was the bit I was doing. Was that like I'm moving into your house and I expected the master when you have a husband? You know?
Yeah, no. It's having the master bedroom is great. I've never been in a position like as a single guy, always living with family or other people. I've really never had that option available to me to like have an adjoining bathroom. other than like in hotels, of course. And it's such a nice commodity. It's such a nice thing to just have. Oh, I'm excited to have a standing shower unit. I'm excited to have like a walled in, like sliding glass door John going on. I'm excited for that. That's gonna be a nice one because I love a good shower, but I hate a bathtub, dude. I just can't stand it.
Yeah,
and those shower units are a lot less to clean, really, because you just take some glass cleaner to do 99% of it. You know.
Although, like, the only issue with those is that you gotta have a squeegee inside the shower, and once you're done showering, you have to squeegee off the glass so it doesn't get water spots on it. Have to. I would suggest it.
It's already used. It's most likely got a water spot on it. Like, if it were brand new, I'd say the same, but, like, I don't really, like... And water spots on glass like that aren't impossible to get rid of. Like, water spots can be gotten rid of with glass cleaner, dude. What are you talking about?
Well, so here's the thing, is that in Arizona, at least the area that I'm in, our water is, like, notoriously absurdly hard. It's got a ton of fucking minerals in it. So like if I were to take a cup from the tap, put it on the table, it would have like a white film on the bottom of the cup after I'm done drinking it. If I left like even a little bit of water in it.
See, this is the kind of stuff that makes me realize, like, that makes me like think on and ponder the fact that like we're very different like living situations right now, like culturally.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes I'm like, yeah, and when we move, I'll worry about taking the trash out at night. Don't worry. And you'll go, at night? And I'll go, what do you mean? There's no problem with taking the trash out at night. And you'll go, dude, the fucking Arizona night goblins will get you, dude. That's the only problem with doing that. And it's like, dude, you're what fucking night goblins, huh?
The goddamn night goblins.
It's just a series of events like that. It's just like, oh yeah, you gotta keep a squeegee in your standing shower so that you don't like get a ton of like water stainage every single time you shower and have to clean it off. Like, because it looks like when you clean it off, it's gonna look disgusting by then. Oh yeah, by the way, did I mention that our water is almost poison?
Yeah. Well, because, like, I don't know.
Did I mention that when I turn on the tap, I have to wait 15 seconds for it to stop being a murky brown color before it's clear to drink?
We've had several ice machines. Like, I think I've had 5 of them at this point.
Water,
all of them more expensive than the last.
I didn't know you had. I didn't know you had hard water, but you were talking about, like, yeah, the ice machine broke. That's just a thing that happens. Ice machines around here, like, in our house, only really seem to last a couple months, and they're broken. And I was like, yeah, I see what Jed means. An ice machine will break every now and again. Every fridge I've had that's had an ice machine on it, the ice machine is currently broken, and they don't want to bother fixing it. I completely understand. But then you were like, yeah, no, they only last, like, 3 to 6 months tops. And I was like, what? Huh? What? What are you talking about? It's a quick fix, and then you're done. It's just a pain in the ass, and nobody wants to do it. And they usually take like a year to get that way. They usually take a while, in my experience. But now that you mentioned that you have hard water, yeah, that shit just like it like leaves like a snail trail on everything, and like shit with
like a crystallization.
Most shit is okay to get wet. Not everything is okay to be fucking mineralized by water, dude.
Yeah, because like I took apart the ice machine when I had done it, and it was like clay. It was actual like clay that I was digging out from around it,
chiseling it out.
Like white balls of it wasn't even chiseling it out because it was recently run, so like it's still kind of wet, hard water deposits. It is rancid. It is really gross.
I can't stand hard water,
especially when you think about.
You have well water when we move, which is a whole new thing. You ever have well water, Jed? You ever been a well water man?
No, I didn't even know that well water was a thing. I'm gonna be honest, I did not know you could run a house, like a house's amount of water off of a fucking hole in the ground, dude.
Which is insane.
I'm not shitting you.
That's fucking insane to me, because we talked about it. We've talked about it in private, of course. It's new for the audience, but I think about that every now and again. Because I was like, yeah, when we were a kid, you know, because we mentioned the first time that it had like well water. Like a well outside, and you were like, what? Like a Jack and Jill, like little pointy roof, little like stone fucking tube down into the ground with a bucket type deal. Is that what we're about? Am I about to like be moving to a fucking third world country? Like And we had to explain, like, no, you take a pipe, you get it down there on the water level underground, and like we had to explain to you in full. Like, I had this explained to me in like 4th grade science, so it was like really odd to find somebody who didn't know about this. Of just like, yeah, there's just the soil under there is just really damp to the point where you can just siphon water out of it. And like, so this is what this machine does. It just like is hooked up to like a fucking 20-30 foot pipe or whatever. And
don't you run out at some point?
No, it refreshes, dude. Water is always it's a running stream of water. It runs out to like, I don't know, the ocean or something. I genuinely don't know, but it's not like you're pulling from standing still water in like a cave down there. It's just the soil in the water currently. And it'll rain next week and more water will soak into the ground, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we'll never run out because it never stops raining. You can drink well water just fine. You can drink it straight out of the well, in fact, and you won't, like, die. Huh. It won't be, like, great for you. Like, you need to purify it to some degree if you, like, really want to, like, drink it regularly or use it for, like, cooking and shit. In fact, you don't have to, even. Most wells just, like, have, like, a purifier of some kind on them and will, like, at least it'll filter it. It may not be, like, it may not be sterile, or like it may not be like fully pure, but it will be sterile. You're not gonna like die because you drank the water, and it won't taste off. It won't. The best part, it won't have that fucking egg smell, that sulfur smell that city water has. I can't fucking stand that. Every time I'm in like a hotel room and I turn a faucet on, and it's like, dude, this shit smells like eggs. This sucks. I hate it. I'm taking a shower and I'm worried. Like, man, like eggs. Am I gonna spend the whole trip smelling like fucking sulfur? Jesus Christ. And no, I mean, of course the soap outpowers that, but like, it's just a nasty smell. I hate it. Like, it just puts a vivid image in my mind of like a yellow bathtub in like a carpeted bathroom nastiness, you know?
Ew.
Like, it just smells like sulfur. Just smells enough like mildew to me that I associate the two smells. And like, in a bathroom, mildew, it's common to be there, but it's real gross, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, I can't stand city water for, like, that reason. So I'm glad we have well water, in fact.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I just considered that, like, we're gonna have to put a purifier, like, under the kitchen sink to have, like pure water. But I guess also you don't need that necessarily. It's so bizarre. It is just... This is like living in a different country because it practically is. The U.S. is huge, but
it's without less additives, Jed. It's not like it's gonna come out with dirt in it. You're fine. You're not gonna get any like microorganisms living in your fucking water. You don't need an additional purifier. They have an additional purifier, and they will leave. Yes, but they already have like a purifier down on the pipe that like, or not on the pipe at least, but on the pump itself that like it pumps the water up, it filtrates it, and then sends it your way. Like, it sends it through like a filtration system, like it filters it and then shoves it off to like the other end point, you know, which is the house. Yeah. And so like, you know, you don't run out. You might maybe have a pressure issue every now and again. Oh, that's a problem.
What is the problem?
The problem you run into with well water, I remember from when we had it, is that like our city water doesn't smell like sulfur, by the way, but like, Jesus, I've been to places where it does, and it's either way. I just remembered we have city water right now. We just used to have well water at our old place when I was a kid. But well water, think about well water. Pressure's fine. It's good. It's not like it's not like it pulls from that pipe on demand. Obviously, it goes to the hot water heater. Like a shitload of gallons, like I don't know how big is a fucking hot water heater, like 80 gallons. It's a big fucking tank. It sits there. Yeah. It'll hold it. You'll be fine. However, if somebody decides to take a 30-minute shower, fuck out of luck for the next hour on hot water anywhere in the house.
That's interesting. I've never run out of hot water, actually.
Because like
you
have to take an absurdly long time in the shower for that to be a problem. Like, it has to be a 30 to 45-minute shower for that to be an issue. So I don't see it being a problem.
Yeah. So there was one day recently that I was sick, and it was one of those sicks where it's just like, I'm going to just be in the shower for the rest of the day. And like, that's just what I did. I sat in the shower.
That will go poorly for you. 45 minutes in, the water that comes out of the pipe will begin to be cold because it will not stop to be heated.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, is that we don't get our water from the ground, and it's all surface level Arizona heat water. So it's like, the water heater is, what the hell, dude?
You wound all the way back for that. You wound all the way back for that just now. You went a whole sentence behind yourself to catch that.
Yeah, but
what
was I saying? I've never run out of hot water because it always gets to the bottom of it. And it's like lukewarm, maybe 80 degrees, which is like a fine water temperature.
Try somewhere like literally near freezing. Somewhere in the 40s.
That's wild.
You're getting 40-degree water out of that pipe very abruptly. You got to keep track. I don't know how bad it is for them. That's just how it was where I was when I was a kid over a decade ago. Mm-hmm. But when I I'm sure that like over there the timings are a little different, and maybe the tech has come a little ways since then and can last longer. Yeah. Maybe they got a bigger hot water heater, but I don't think hot water heater tech has really done much in that time. So like
there actually unless they just like tankless water heaters now.
Oh, that's cool. Actually, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's in Breaking Bad. They talk about it.
Do they? Oh yeah, because there's that guy in the hardware store, and he's like, "What fucking hot water heater do I buy?" And then he's like, "Well, you can get this one, or you can get that one, or of course, then there's tankless, you know." And he has like a like fucking like zone out during that. I remember Breaking Bad a little bit. I've always been confused because I've always kind of blocked out that scene as a scene relating to the hot water heater thing, and then he puts like a breaker box on the wall. And I guess that's what it is like a fucking...
That is the tankless water heater,
A tankless heater, yeah. But it just kind of like looks like an electrical box just installed in the fucking like laundry room. And I was like, why the fuck would we do this? What are we doing here? Yeah. It's not a hot water heater. I think we all know it. I was having like a fucking like jelly donut like Brock moment with just like, we all know that's not a hot water heater, right? Right? But I guess it is. I guess I was mistaken.
Tankless water heaters are good. Tankless
I suppose we could have one installed if you wanted one that bad. I mean,
I don't want one that bad. I just mean like they're just good.
But I did hear I spent all day in the shower earlier, and then on top of that I thought about, man, Jed does do that, doesn't he? He loves his like showers. Oh fuck.
Not really.
I got a water bill to pay.
No, not really. Like that was strictly because I was sick. Like were I not to be sick, that wouldn't happen. I normally take. I always think I take long, like half-hour showers. No, I take like 15-minute showers. I always like overestimate, and it's like, all right, give me 40 minutes, and I'll be back for my shower, and then I'm back in 20 minutes. You know.
Yeah, the showers are the one thing that you underestimate on, I find. That's the one time that's like the one time I see you consistently underestimate your like timings. Because like usually or like overestimate rather. Because I usually see you underestimate them and go, I'll be back in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 30. And it's like 45 minutes later, Jed returns. I've learned that any 30-minute gap with you is 45. Throw an extra 15. If it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes is the exact right number. Sometimes you'll come back on the 43 or the 48, but it's right in that 40 range. If you're not back in 30 minutes when you say you'll be back in 30 minutes, I know you're back by the hour. You'll be back in 15 from then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got like a special Jed time, and I don't even know where it comes from half the time.
There's like,
because most of it is just like, yeah, I went and my mom was there, and I said hello, and I didn't want to be rude and be like, no, fuck off, I'm playing video games with my friends, Mom.
I don't have any, you know what conversations with my family when we bump into each other in like the kitchen or something is? It's boo, boo. And then we like don't talk to each other. That's it. We just do like a mock, haha, I scared you anyway, and then back to what we were doing.
That's funny. Yeah, no, we like my mom and I have conversations pretty much every time I leave my room. Like that's just kind of how that works. And that's why at night, if you've noticed, those Jed times are like more on time because I can't get caught up doing anything, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I find that like I find that like I like to go to my family. I like to confide in my family as just like a good like you are completely severed from this situation. You have no idea what like any of the context for this is. You're completely a new face to it. I'm gonna lay this out for you. Am I fucking crazy right now? I need validation.
You're that
on this.
for me.
Like I either need you to tell me I'm fucking crazy or tell me I'm fucking not. And validate me. It's one way or the other. I don't care if I really am crazy on this. I just need somebody to tell me that. And they're not the best barometer because they're very like they're very negative people by trade almost.
Yeah.
And so like it's hard to like get them to be like empathetic towards somebody that like isn't themselves, if that makes any sense, or isn't one of their own. And so like if I'm telling a story, they'll be empathetic to me in the story, but it's just like but I could tell a story about like, oh yeah, you know, I saw this kitten on the side of the road and I had a Big Mac in my hands and it was like starving to death and I could have given it a fry, but like, and I could have even taken it to like the clinic that was literally with an eye shot, but like, I mean, I thought it was just a better decision to drive away and leave it there to starve to death. And they could go, yep, wasn't your problem. You're completely in the right to do that. And it's like, yeah, I know you're like a heartless bastard. You got it.
Yeah.
like it's just like a very swift reminder sometimes that I seek advice, and sometimes my own moral barometer is like, fuck this, dude. You know?
Yeah, fuck this advice, dude.
Yeah, I'm learning where my gut is at. Is what I'm learning that like I actually have really good intuition. I've just like been told all my life that like you're autistic, you don't know how this works, you know, to the point where like I inherently distrust myself with information of just like, yeah, surely I'm the one in the wrong here, right? Or surely if I have a plan all on my own, it has to be stupid. There's no way. It has to be like the dumbest plan ever that's gonna like ruin everything and get everybody hurt, you know? Like that has to be like, it'll go disastrously. That's what I always think of my own shit until I do it. And then I do it and I realize, wait a minute, if I'd have just done this by myself the way I wanted to do it to begin with, it would have been better. But I took so many caveats and short turns on the I can't do that expressway that like I let myself just fucking slip. And I'm realizing that like, man, maybe my own intuition is actually pretty all right. Maybe I should just follow that instead. Yeah. That way when I fuck up, it's my fault and I can like grow and learn from it a bit better, you know? But I find that's just what, I've been using that phrase a lot, but I do find that it is, like, that's what this like year is for me, is a lot of like, all right, let's get out of that, like, I'm just kind of living day-to-day mindset and start to figure out, who are you, dude? You know, like I know who I am pretty good, but now I'm analyzing parts of myself and really coming into my own with it and going, is this what I am because I want to be it, or is this what I am because I just am it right now? You know? And so like, yeah, it's a lot of workshopping myself and like trying to gain some like internal self-respect, I guess, if that makes any sense. Either way, though, that's just what I've been going through, and so like it's a good time to go through that because it's allowed me to helm this move, and like I see it in you because I'm your lifeline to this whole thing. You don't really have anybody else to point at, and then I see it in Basil too, where like everybody's kind of like everybody that's going to be living with me in like a week is kind of just looking to me like, all right, what do we do next to make this go smooth? Like, you're doing your own thing over there, of course, because you know what needs to be done in your house. But when it like pertains to like, hey, I'm gonna do this on the drive, and it'll take me like X amount of time longer or shorter. That okay? Cool. You know, like I am the end point. Yeah. I am captaining this particular ship for some reason, and so it's given me a good real world application for all that trust your gut, see if you're any good kind of shit. And I've really liked that. I've really liked that. But I don't know. There's just so many moving parts to this thing. I have so much here on my topics list. It's fucking dizzying. Like I keep like the stutter is me looking at my topics list, realizing I have so much more to talk about, and realizing I don't have enough time to talk about it in, and just trying to desperately decide between something. But back to my question of what are you most excited for? I feel like that's a good one to come around on real quick because I never actually answered it. I think I'm just excited to do stuff. I think I'm just excited to like, I'm excited to be next to a major city center more than I am excited about anything related to the actual move. I'm excited about where we're moving to. I'm excited that we're somewhere where like bands and artists that I like might actually hold a concert. Like it's a pretty big like concert town. So that's that. Like, it's pretty big, like music, like live performance music wise. So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited because like I'm excited about like all the thrift stores in the area. I'm excited about all the shopping to be done. I'm excited about the fact that there are like 3 or 4 different like queer like exclusive spaces to exist in, because I've never really tried to make like queer friends for real. Like, I've never like gone to like any IRL queer spaces and seen what those sorts of like places are like. And so I would like to sit down and like engage in like the culture relating to all that and be able to be more in touch with like the local world around me, you know? I'm excited for all of that.
Yeah.
That I feel is what I'm most excited for. And it's a weirdly like fully like sentimentally sort of like answer, like kind of a cop out, but like I don't know. That's just my answer. What do you want me to do?
That's my goal, by the way, is that you're gonna like I know that
I'm gonna like you want to do more shit too,
like,
but don't have the motivation or really that much of a drive to, so you're just gonna like use me as a surrogate of just like, if Vox is doing it, we're doing it. Let's go. I guess
that, but also you had talked about music. I want to get you into like the show scene. I want you to like, because we've talked about this before. I want you to understand why mosh pits are fun, or at least pits in general. Like, I want to work you to that.
Do it once.
I don't know if it'll work. Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of getting hurt, and like setting foot into one of those areas is very much just like, you can't complain about it if you get hurt. You know, you kind of ask for it. In fact, that's kind of the goal for some people, I guess. And so like, it's just gonna have to be on a day where I'm like feeling my oats and like, yeah, I could stand to go home a little bruised tonight, you know?
Yeah. Well, because like I want to work you into it from like shows where it's like, oh yeah, stadium shows where you sit down and then you can watch a music performance, and then get to standing shows and then slowly like inch your way to the pit, because like that's the best way to do it, I've heard. If you're not willing to just like jump right into it, because it is a lot of fun, and I want to do that with you. I want to go to like music shows and shit, but
like I'll go to shows and shit, but like the mosh portion of it is definitely like I will do that once for your benefit. I will do that once because you want me to do that. I'm comfortable doing it. It's just not something I have any faith I'll have fun doing. I think it's going to suck for like 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna get out and go, all right, I did it. There you go. You have that now.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
I will give you that experience. I'll give you that one time. But it's just like, I don't know if it's something I would enjoy. And maybe I will. Maybe I will, and it'll become a regular thing. But I highly fucking doubt it.
I don't know. I think it might, because I think you might enjoy like the jumping around and the getting your energy out, because it's a lot less fighting than you would think it is. When you hear mosh pit, you assume you're like, oh, I'm just getting in there to get the shit kicked out of me. But no, it's like everybody's jumping around and dancing inside of this pit, and you just happen to be like getting thrown around by people. It's less about getting hurt. It's more about the momentum you get in a mosh pit.
Doesn't seem like fun. Doesn't seem like fun.
Doesn't seem like any fun. Damn.
Dancing isn't fun for me, Jed. It's fun for me alone in my bedroom with no one around. Dancing is one of those things that I am A, not confident in enough, and B, not cool enough when, like, I know how I look when I dance, and even when I do it well, I don't look very good doing it. And so it's like, it's not something I like to do in public. And so, like, and I'm not a run my energy out kind of guy either, is my thing. I like to have energy until I'm in bed. I like to be awake fully until I don't like to be worn out walking, like, I don't like to be in the car dozing off at the end of the day. I like to be awake until I get to bed. And so it's like, I don't...
those are the primo days where it's like you just a little bit overdone.
Those are good, but like I wouldn't want to be doing that regularly. Like that's not my idea of fun, is like, man, I did a bunch of very meaningless physical activity today that I didn't really have all that much fun doing. But maybe I would. But like, fun aside, I just like got with a group of people, got thrown around a little bit, and like, you know, like had some very loud, like ear bleeding music happening, and like 17 sweaty people within 3 feet of me, you know, in all directions. I cannot visualize it being fun. That doesn't mean it won't be. I'm just saying I cannot visualize that for me.
It's funny that you bring up sweat, because those shows are very sweaty. And it's really,
oh
really,
yeah, if you're like in a
gross.
big audience, it's always gonna be a little musty in there. But like,
yeah.
But like, that doesn't mean like anytime I sit down in a theater and I'm like, man, I could feel the warmth of the guy who was sitting here yesterday. Jesus fuck. Those aren't the times where I'm like, man, when I'm like my hands are clammy and my feet are slowly filling with or my shoes are slowly filling with sweat and giving me trench foot. Now's the time that I want to get up and dance and have like a man twice my size shove me in a direction. That is the time that I want those two things to happen. I would like to dance and be manhandled right now. Those are definitely what I need. That exact combo.
But it's fun. It is genuinely fun. Maybe I don't know. I was of course like the wall of it, so I couldn't be in there, dude. Could you imagine? That's what I thought at least was just
dude,
like,
I would
could you
hate
fucking
to be
imagine
you.
some dude walking into the pit? You'd hate to be me.
I'd hate to be you because I feel like if I were you, I don't think I'd ever be able to bring myself. Like if I were a guy built like you are, I don't think I would ever bring myself to do anything physical like that with anybody. Like a big group physical activity like that. Just because again, like you have like a tyranny of scale thing going on where like you don't work out, but you're like a strong guy for like the sheer like you do enough physical labor to keep yourself in like okay shape, like a decent upkeep. But like you're about average for somebody your size. I think you're actually better than average for like somebody your build, but like not by a whole ton. Not by a whole ton.
Yeah,
not enough to where I feel like it would be like ridiculous, but because of the optics of it and the fact that not everybody else in the pit knows that I'm just a big guy. I'm really not that much stronger than your average guy. I'm just a little bit tall and a little bit wide, Like I just look like I'm fucking mountain man. I'll be fine, Like I feel like I wouldn't be able to bring myself to do it because I feel like it would just look wrong. It would like look unsightly for me to do. Like I feel like a kid looking out his window, but he's like 13 or 14. So it's like, man, it's Halloween, but I'm too old to go trick-or-treating. Because it's like, this is a thing you seem to like have a longing for and have like a want to experience and a want to do. But it's just like, no, like as much as a game of tag would kick right now, those 5-year-olds out there are not about to get creamed by a 30-year-old man. No,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, it's less of that. It's more so just that, like, I don't know. I thought about getting into it, and then I saw a 4 foot, probably 10 girl inside the pit.
Those people running are around fucking and insane. Shit Women under 5 foot want to be hurt, dude. I don't know what their deal is. And this isn't even like a sexism, but like, men under 5 foot are filled with a deep, unsettled rage for it. Whereas like women seem to like channel that into like paragliding and like shit like that. Like fucking risk adrenaline based sports and shit. I don't know what their deal is.
But like I saw this girl and I was like, okay, I'm not getting into the pit. I'm not gonna fall on somebody and kill them. And then they get shoved into me. And I do my I do my like understood response when someone shoves themselves into me, and that is to catch them. And then I was like, well, what do I do with them? Shove them back. And I shoved them back, and I shoved them a little too hard. And then I realized that after that, people started coming to me to shove them. People started just seeing it. I was just like, oh shit, this is the guy who like fucking throws you. Good.
There's not traditionally a guy who throws you. You explained this to me as though that's like a traditional thing. Is like you get a couple of guys on each corner. You get a wall of people to like keep the pit contained.
But
so you're saying that you just kind of like you sort of just like that. That's the most wall looking guy I've ever seen. Push me, dude. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like that motherfucker could beat a wall on his own. Figure it out.
There was some bald dude who I think was on meth. That guy was going fucking insane and like thrashing around and running around. But by the end of the show, I had shoved him enough times and he had elbowed me in the sternum. So I would shove him a little bit harder every time as kind of a fuck off. But I think he liked it because at the end of the show, he gave me a hug and was like, that was awesome, man. Yeah. And then he fucked off. And I was like, all right.
Hell yeah,
all
dude.
Right, man.
Fine.
Sure.
Dude, Did I tell you about that time when we were on our Universal trip? I think I told you about it privately. I didn't tell you about it publicly. This is like my only non-move topic I'm talking about today. And it's a very short story. I had just bought a new hat and we were on the way out of the parks for the last time. Like, period. Like, this is the end of our passes. We go home after this. And we're like, done. It was on that like extra final day, I think. And so, like, where we had made a special trip out for a day, just because we had one day left on the passes, like a couple weeks after we had already been. And we just didn't want it to expire. And so, like, I'm outside. I'm on, like, City Walk at this point, and this guy comes out, where they famously serve alcohol at almost every single restaurant on that strip, mind you.
Oh, yeah.
And so, this guy comes out. We're waiting for our friends to finish getting the donuts from this, like, donut place. And so, we're sitting, and we're just waiting to like get in the car and go, and it's getting late, so like some of the restaurants are like filing out for like the just had dinner crowd, and a man comes out in like the most like tourist looking man of all time. He kind of looked like Shane Gillis a little bit, like think that sort of like genre of guy. He was in like one of those like bucket hat type deals, like one of those fishing bucket hats that's like kind of a fly fishing hat, kind of a bucket hat, but like somewhere in the middle, whatever. And he comes out and he's pushing a stroller with like a toddler in it, and he goes, "Hell yeah, man! You see this baby? This is the most beautiful girl in the whole fucking world, and she's my daughter, dude. Aren't I lucky?" And I went, "Hell yeah, man! Good for you." And he went, "You have yourself a lovely day." And you know what else? You know what? And he goes, "You know what else? My wife is in there." My wife is in there, and she's coming out behind me. Look, she's just as beautiful. And his wife comes out, and she's smiling at him, and she sees him, and he's like, and I go, that's fucking wonderful, man. You got a beautiful family. Have a good day. And he went, "Yeah, you too, man. Have a fantastic rest of your night, dog." And then he did like a fist pump, and then went, "Raise hell, praise Dale, brother," and then walked away. Which is like the call for like Dale Earnhardt fans. And so it was like such a like people
Dale
just say shit
Earnhardt
like that to you down here, dude. You will just have a man finish off a conversation with a complete stranger who he met 15 seconds ago in a cool hat and say, "Hell yeah, raise hell, praise Dale," dude.
What the hell, dude?
That's a real ending to a real interaction I had with a real man outside of a theme park.
That is fucking insane. People are just fucking crazy.
I told you that story. It's one of my favorite
no,
stories of that trip.
No, you hadn't.
I should have saved it for a trips episode coming up, but you know.
Yeah, what the fuck was he doing? Why was he so hype?
He was drinking. He said so at the beginning. I didn't give you like a word for word, but he did tell me he was a few beers in. Like he had like I think it wasn't even beer. I think it was like 4 or 5 like of something. I think it might have been even margaritas. Like it was something though. It was something though, and he said a number that wasn't super high, but like high enough that I knew he was at least good and buzzed. You know, and it was clear on his fucking face. Like his face was flush. He had been fucking drinking, and he was coming out of a restaurant. So. You know.
Yeah.
Either way,
I don't know. There are some people who are just hyped for life, man. And that's
people are just hyped for life, and I think that's how we loop it back because I'm hype to move. I'm very hyped to move. But the thing I'm most hype about, we got one more of these. We got one more of these in our current setup. We got one fucking more in our current setup, and then we'll be done with the show as we know it. No, just the one.
It used to be just the one, and now it's 2 because it got pushed back a week. Remember?
You arrive on the 3rd. We record the episode after next on the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Not even. You arrive on the 3rd. We'll record on the 3rd. Fuck it. Who cares?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that we still have we still have a week. We're on the.
No, that's what I'm saying. We have one more of these, Jed. I'm not talking about the one we just finished, dude.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm tweaking, man.
I was just saying that we're done with the episode, and we have one more in this setup, and then we're done. What in the fuck, man? You just... I have to know. No, we're full stopping the show and telling the audience, Jesus, like we're leaving this in just as like a show to the audience of, I try to make a smooth transition on this show every day, and this guy jumps in with "nuh-uh" when he doesn't even know what I'm talking about. This dude's doing nuh-uhs to interrupt me and does not even understand the topic of conversation. Do your outro, boy.
Misunderstanding. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the episodes, you can watch the episodes every Sunday at 3 p.m. You can check out our stuff on the about the hosts section of the card page that I didn't tell you was there. There's a card page. Go check it out. And we'll see all y'all
rare form today.
Later. Yeah. See you guys around.
We got cut back on the edibles, man. Come on.